Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Everyday English with Henry, the podcast where we learn English in simple, easy, and fun ways. I'm your host, Henry, and today's topic is something very important for English learners. Think less, speak more. Yes, that's right. Think less, speak more. Now, you may be thinking, but Henry, shouldn't we think carefully before we speak? Good question. Yes, in normal life, thinking before speaking is important. But when you are learning English, too much thinking can actually slow you down. Let me explain. Why this topic matters for English learners. Many English learners want to speak fluently. They want to feel confident, natural, and comfortable when speaking English. But there's a big problem. They think too much before they speak. They try to find the perfect word. They try to make the perfect sentence. And in the end, they say nothing. Or they speak very slowly. Or they lose confidence. Have you ever felt this way? It's okay. You're not alone. Almost every language learner feels this. Even I felt this way when I was learning a new language. So, today, we're going to talk about this problem and how to fix it. Think less, speak more. What's this about? In this episode, we'll talk about what this phrase really means. We'll talk about why people overthink, why it's bad for learning English, and how speaking more, even with mistakes, is actually the best way to improve. Whether you're a beginner or intermediate learner, this episode will help you understand how to feel free when you speak English, how to stop being afraid of mistakes, and how to build confidence through real speaking practice. Let's learn together. My goal is simple. I want to help you speak English more naturally, with less fear and more fun. So grab a coffee, take a walk, or just relax, and let's start this journey together. Let's learn how to think less and speak more. Ready? Let's go. All right. Let's begin with a simple question. What does think less, speak more really mean? It sounds a little strange, right? Because in school, we often hear, think before you speak. So now you might ask, is this the opposite? Well, not exactly. Simple meaning. When we say, think less, speak more, we don't mean you should speak without using your brain. We don't mean you should say anything, anytime, without thinking at all. What we really mean is, don't let too much thinking stop you from speaking. Don't try to make every sentence perfect. Don't wait for the perfect moment to talk. Instead, just try to speak. Even if you make mistakes. Even if it's not perfect. Just say something. Get the words out. Why this matters for English learners. Let me give you a small example. Imagine this. You're in a classroom. The teacher asks a simple question. You know the answer. Kind of. But you're not 100% sure. So what happens? You start thinking, is this the right word? What if I'm wrong? What will people think if I make a mistake? And guess what? By the time you decide to speak, it's too late. Someone else already answered. Or the topic changed. You missed your chance. This happens to thousands of English learners every day. Why? Because they think too much. Language learning is like a muscle. Let me share something important. Speaking a language is not only about knowledge, it's also about practice. It's like using a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. If you don't speak often, your English muscle stays weak. If you speak more, even with mistakes, your speaking becomes stronger, faster, and easier. Mistakes are normal. Also, don't forget, mistakes are part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes. So if you're learning and you make a grammar mistake or say the wrong word, it's okay. Really, it's okay. What's more important is that you try. You speak. You express your ideas. You use your words, and the more you do this, the better you will get. Quick recap. So, just to repeat the key idea. Think less, speak more means don't wait for perfection. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Speak often, speak freely, speak bravely. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real and growing through practice. In the next part, we'll look at why people overthink before speaking. You might recognize some of these reasons in your own life. Stay with me. And let's keep going. Welcome back. In the last part, we talked about what think less, speak more means. Now, let's look at an important question. Why do people think too much before speaking English? This happens to almost every English learner at some point. But don't worry, there are clear reasons why it happens. Let's explore them together. Fear of making mistakes. The first and biggest reason is fear, especially fear of making mistakes. Many learners think, what if I say the wrong word? What if my grammar is bad? What if people laugh at me? This fear can be very strong. It makes your brain pause. It stops your voice. You freeze. But here's the truth. Mistakes are normal. They're part of the learning process. And most people are not judging you. They're just happy that you're trying. So don't let fear control your voice. Perfectionism. Another big reason is perfectionism. Perfectionism means you always want everything to be perfect. The perfect sentence, the perfect grammar, the perfect accent. This sounds good, but it creates a problem. You may think, I won't speak until I know the exact right words I will speak when I'm fluent. But if you wait for perfect, you will wait forever. Remember this. Progress is better than perfection. You learn faster by speaking badly now than by waiting to speak perfectly later. Low confidence. The third reason is low confidence. Some learners feel shy. They don't believe in their own ability. They think, my English is not good. People won't understand me. I sound stupid. But the truth is, you probably know more English than you think. You just need the courage to try. And here's something interesting. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. And the more confident you feel, the more you speak. It's like a circle. But you have to start the circle by speaking, even a little. Translating in the mind. Some learners try to translate everything from their native language into English in their heads. For example, you think in your language, what time will the train arrive? Then you try to find the English words one by one. This takes time and creates pressure. And then, your brain gets tired, you freeze. Instead, it's better to learn and use simple English phrases directly, without translating. We'll talk more about that in the next sections. Quick recap. So, let's quickly repeat. People overthink before speaking because of fear of mistakes, perfectionism, low confidence, translating too much in the head. Do you see yourself in any of these? If yes, that's okay. It's normal. Now that you know the reasons, you can work to overcome them. And don't worry, in the next part, I'll show you how overthinking hurts your learning and why it's so important to change this habit. Let's continue. Welcome back, my friends. So far, we've talked about what think less, speak more means, and why people overthink before speaking. Now let's look at something very important. How overthinking can actually hurt your English speaking skills. Yes, thinking too much sounds like a good thing. But when it comes to speaking a new language, it can actually become a problem. Let's talk about how. 1. Overthinking slows you down. First, overthinking makes you speak more slowly. You stop to think about grammar rules, perfect words, sentence structure, pronunciation. By the time you finish thinking, it's already too late. The moment has passed, or you've lost your confidence. Remember, in real conversations, things move fast. People don't wait. So if you always stop to think, you'll miss the flow of the conversation. 2. It creates mental blocks. Thinking too much can also cause mental blocks. You might start a sentence like, I, I, um, wait, how do I say this? That's a mental block. It's like a wall in your brain. Too many thoughts at the same time make you freeze. The more you do this, the more nervous you feel, and the less you want to speak next time. But speaking should feel light, natural and free, not stressful and blocked. 3. It lowers confidence. Here's another problem. Overthinking makes you feel less confident. Why? Because you're always focusing on what's wrong. My grammar isn't good. My pronunciation is bad. I made a mistake again. And when you think this way all the time, your brain starts to believe it. You feel small. You feel scared. You stop trying. Confidence comes from action, not perfection. You need to practice speaking, even if it's not perfect, to build that confidence. 4. It wastes time. When you think too much, you actually waste learning time. You spend 10 minutes writing the perfect sentence, instead of saying 10 simple ones out loud. You sit in class quietly, instead of asking questions, practicing, and making progress. In the long run, this slows down your English learning. Remember this simple truth. You learn faster by speaking more, not by thinking more. Quick recap, so let's review. Thinking too much slows you down, creates mental blocks, lowers your confidence, wastes learning time, and worst of all, it stops you from enjoying the process. And learning a language should be fun and active, not stressful and silent. So in the next part, we'll flip the coin. We'll talk about the benefits of speaking more, even if you make mistakes. You'll see how powerful speaking can be for your learning. Let's move on. Welcome back! Now that we've talked about the problems with overthinking, let's look at the bright side. The good things that happen when you speak more. This part is so important because many learners feel afraid to speak. But when you speak more, you give yourself a big gift. Real improvement, real confidence, real fluency. Let's look at the main benefits of speaking more. 1. You learn faster. Yes, it's true. The more you speak, the faster you learn. Speaking is active practice. It helps you remember vocabulary, grammar, and sentence structure better than just reading or listening. Let me give you an example. If you read the word restaurant 10 times, you may still forget it. But if you say the word restaurant in real conversation just 3 times, it sticks in your brain. That's because your brain remembers what it uses, not what it only sees. 2. You build confidence. When you speak more, even just a little every day, you start to feel stronger. You realize, hey, I can say this. You may still make mistakes, but that doesn't stop you anymore. Confidence is not about being perfect. Confidence comes from trying, speaking, learning through action. And with each small success, your confidence grows. 3. You train your speaking muscle. Remember earlier, I said language is like a muscle? That's still true. When you speak more, you train your English muscle. It becomes easier to form sentences faster, find the right words, speak with better rhythm. You don't need to stop and think so much. Your mouth and brain work together, like a team. Over time, speaking becomes more natural and automatic. 4. You get real-life feedback. When you speak with others, in class, with friends, or online, you get something very useful. Feedback. For example, someone helps you correct a word. You hear the right pronunciation. You learn a new way to say something. This helps you improve faster than just studying alone. Real conversations give you real-world learning. 5. You enjoy the language. More. This one is simple, but powerful. When you speak more, you begin to enjoy English. Why? Because speaking is connection. You connect with people. You share ideas. You ask questions. You laugh. And when learning feels fun and human, you want to keep going. You're not just studying English, you're living it. Quick recap. Let's quickly review the benefits of speaking more. You learn faster. You build confidence. You train your speaking muscle. You get helpful feedback. You enjoy the learning process. Sounds great, right? So now you're probably thinking, okay, Henry, I get it. I want to speak more, but how do I start? Good question. In the next part, I'll give you simple, practical tips to help you think less and speak more. Starting today. Let's go. All right. Welcome back. Now that we understand the benefits of speaking more, you may be asking, so, how do I actually do it, Henry? How do I stop thinking so much and speak more often? Don't worry, I've got you. In this part, I'll share practical, simple tips you can use to speak more. Starting today. Let's go, step by step. 1. Talk to yourself. Yes, really. Talking to yourself is one of the best ways to practice. Why? Because there's no pressure, no fear, no judgment. You can do it in your room, in the mirror, or while cooking. Just say simple things out loud. I'm going to make tea now. It's a sunny day today. I feel happy because I'm learning English. This builds confidence and fluency in a safe space. Practice. Tip. Try speaking for 2 minutes every morning. Describe what you're doing or how you feel. 2. Use voice messages. Instead of always texting, try sending voice messages to your friends, teacher, or language partners. Speaking out loud forces you to think and respond quickly. Plus, you get used to hearing your own voice in English, which helps your pronunciation. Apps like WhatsApp, HelloTalk, or Tandem are great for this. Practice. Tip. Send one voice message a day. It can be short, just 20 or 30 seconds. 3. Find speaking partners. If you can find a conversation partner, that's even better. This can be a classmate, a friend learning English, a tutor, or someone online who wants to practice too. Don't worry if your level is low. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to practice together. Practice tip. Start with 10-minute conversations, 2 to 3 times a week. Talk about easy topics like your day, your hobbies, or your plans. 4. Learn phrases. Not just words. One big reason people overthink is because they try to build sentences word by word. Instead, try learning phrases, small sentence blocks that you can use again and again, like, "Can I ask you something? I'm not sure, but I think, let me see." These help you speak faster and more naturally, with less thinking. Practice. Tip. Learn 5 new phrases each week. Say them out loud every day. 5. Set a speaking timer. Try this challenge. Set a timer for 1 or 2 minutes and speak about any topic without stopping. Even if you don't know all the words, just keep going. Use simple words. Use gestures. Use whatever you can. This trains your brain to speak without pausing to overthink. Practice. Tip. Do this once a day. Choose a topic like, "What did I do today?" or "My favorite food." 6. Accept mistakes and move on. And maybe the most important tip of all. Accept that mistakes are okay. They're normal. They're helpful. They're a part of learning. If you make a mistake, just smile, correct it if you can, and keep going. Don't stop speaking just because you're not perfect. Remember, no one ever became fluent by staying silent. Practice. Tip. Every time you catch a mistake, say, "Good. That means I'm learning." Quick recap. Here's your step-by-step speaking guide. Talk to yourself every day. Send voice messages. Practice with a partner. Use real phrases. Speak with a timer. Accept your mistakes. Simple, right? Now the key is to take action. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start small, but start today. And in the next part, I'll give you some encouragement to help you stay strong and keep going, especially when it gets hard. Let's move on. And here we are, the final part of today's episode. If you've listened all the way through, I want to say something very important. I'm proud of you. You're showing that you care about your English, your growth, and your voice. That's powerful. Now, before we say goodbye, let me leave you with some final thoughts and a little motivation to keep going. Quick recap of key points. Let's review what we've learned today. Think less, speak more means don't wait for perfect English. Just start using the English you already know. Many learners overthink because of fear, perfectionism, low confidence, or trying to translate too much. Overthinking can slow you down, create mental blocks, and make you lose confidence. When you speak more, you learn faster, build confidence, train your brain and tongue, get real feedback, and most importantly, you enjoy the process. We also shared practical tips to help you speak more every day, like talking to yourself, sending voice messages, using ready-made phrases, speaking with a timer, accepting mistakes as part of learning. These steps are simple, and they work if you use them. You don't have to be perfect. Let me remind you of something. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is flow. It's not about knowing every word. It's about using what you do know, with confidence, courage, and consistency. Every time you open your mouth to speak English, even if it's not perfect, you're improving. You're building your skills. You're training your brain. You're becoming a stronger communicator. So keep going. Keep speaking. Keep learning out loud. Final encouragement. To end today's episode, I want to leave you with a small challenge and a big encouragement. Your challenge: speak English out loud for just 2 minutes today. No script, no pause. Just talk. About anything. In any way. Your encouragement: you already have what you need to grow. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a perfect accent. You just need your voice and your will to use it. You're not alone on this journey, and every small step you take matters. So go ahead. Think less. Speak more. And watch your English confidence grow. One word at a time. Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend or fellow learner. And remember, you can come back to this episode anytime you need a little push to speak up. I'm Henry, and this was your podcast on Think Less, Speak More. Until next time, keep speaking and keep shining. Bye for now.